Greetings to one and all. I am Mr. Sambhajirao Suryavanshi, coming back to you all with very interesting topic in English grammar. That is figures of speech, part 1. In today's PowerPoint presentation, I am going to talk about almost 8 figures of speech. And the figures of speech are simile, metaphor, personification, transferred epithet, tautology, antithesis, alliteration, and repetition. So, my friends, without wasting any more time, let's start at once. The very first figure of speech is simile. A comparison between two dissimilar things which have something in common using the words like or as is called as simile. What are the characteristics of this figure of speech? There are two different things, and there is the comparison between two different things, but the condition is that there should be at least one common thing between the two different things. See, for example, her eyes shine like diamonds. All the world is like a stage. The lake was like a mirror. I wandered lonely as a cloud. In the first example, her eyes and the diamonds, two different things but are compared, and both are very shiny. Shiny, it is the common thing. All the world is like a stage. Here, all the world and a stage. These are the two different things. And what is the thing? In life also and on stage also, we people come, play and perform our role, and we disappear at the end from this stage, from the life. That's why this is what the common thing between the two things. Third example, the lake was like a mirror. The lake and mirror, both are transparent. Transparency. If you look into the mirror, your image will be reflected. And if you look into the lake, your image will be there. And this transparency is the common thing between the two different things. And the fourth example, I wandered lonely as a cloud. I means the poet and the cloud in the sky. Actually, these are the two different things. One is person, another one is the object in the sky. But what is the common thing? Cloud is also wandering to the wind, and the poet is also wandering onto the earth. And there is the comparison between these two because these two are aimless. Second figure of speech is metaphor. A comparison between two dissimilar things which have something in common is called as metaphor. My friends, try to understand one thing, that there is a little difference between simile and metaphor. Like simile, here also there is the comparison between two different things. But these two different things have minimum at least one common thing. Then this description, it is called as metaphor. For example, camel is the sheep of the desert. Lata is Koyal of India. He is lion on the battlefield. Her words were a dagger to his heart. Now see in the first example, camel and the sheep. These two are the different things because sheep sail onto the water and camel move onto the sand. Right? So, what I mean to say, though these are the two different things, there is one thing that both things carry the passengers, the travelers. That's why this is the commonality between the two. Lata is Koyal of India. Lata is human being and Koyal is the bird, and both have beautiful voice. This is the common thing. He is the lion on the battlefield. Lion is very brave. Lion is having the fighting spirit. Similarly, the warrior, that means he is also having the same quality. That's why he is the human being and lion is the animal. And the bravery and the fearlessness is the common thing between the two. Her words were a dagger to his heart. Her words are poignant, sharp, very strict and stern, and it harmed that person just like the dagger harms us. So, this is the common thing between the two. Now, let's move towards the next figure of speech, that is personification. In personification, things or even ideas are treated as if they were person. Human quality is given to inanimate things. See, for example, Death lays his icy hands on King. Lady April dances well. The dish ran away with the spoon. Little sorrows sit and weep. My friends, try to understand here that personification, inanimate things are described as animate things. Human quality is given to inanimate things, then it is called as personification. For example, see, death lays his icy hands on him. Death is what? Inanimate thing. And puts his icy hands on king. It means human quality. This is the human quality given to the inanimate thing, that is the death. Lady April dances well. Actually, April is the name of the month. It is not the name of the lady. But the month of April came dancing, while dancing, and that's why this is the imagination. The third example, the dish ran away with the spoon. The dish and the spoon, both things are found in our kitchen, and those things are given the human quality. Dish cannot run on itself, spoon cannot run on itself, but it is imagined that the dish and the spoon ran away. Little sorrows sit and weep. Sorrows. Sorrows is what? Abstract noun. Sorrow is the abstract noun. It means this abstract noun is given the human quality of sitting and weeping. Now the next figure of speech is transferred epithet. In this figure of speech, an epithet means adjective is transferred from the word it should belong to another word in the line. See, for example, he stood upon a dizzy cliff. She spent a sleepless night. Let me tell you here, the adjective which is transferred from the word it should belong to actually. This is called as the transferred epithet. It means from one thing to another thing. See, for example, he stood upon a dizzy cliff. Here the cliff is not dizzy. It was he who was dizzy. Second example, she spent a sleepless night. The night was not sleepless. It was she who could not sleep the whole night through. This is called as what? Transferred epithet. Let's move towards the next figure of speech, that is tautology. It is unnecessary repetition of the same idea in different words. See, for examples, it is foolish to waste our time uselessly. Second example, it is the privilege and birthright of every man to express his ideas without any fear. And the third example is, our village is surrounded on all sides by the range of hills. My friends, try to understand unnecessary repetition. Here in the first example, waste and useless. Wasted means useless and useless means wasted. Second example, privilege and birthright. Privilege means right and right is privilege. Both are having, and this is the unnecessary repetition. And in the third example, surrounded on all sides. Surrounded means from all directions it is surrounded. Not necessary to use the word on all sides, but unnecessarily this is the repetition. That's why it is called as tautology. Now the sixth figure of speech is antithesis. In antithesis, a striking opposition or contrast of words is made in the same sentence in order to secure emphasis. Let me repeat. In antithesis, a striking opposition or contrast of words is made in the same sentence in order to secure emphasis. See, for example, to err is human, but to forgive is divine. Second example, this art brings us together and sets us apart. Man proposes and God disposes. Here, in the first example, to err and to forgive, these are the striking or contrasting things that are in the single sentence. Second example, brings us together and sets us apart. These are the two striking oppositions or the contrasting words, and those are taken together in a single sentence to heighten its effect. And the third example, man proposes and God disposes. It means completely proposes and disposes. These are the contrasting words. They are taken together in a single sentence to heighten its effect. Next figure of speech is alliteration. The repetition of the same letter or syllable at the beginning of two or more words is called as alliteration. Glittering through the gloomy glades, a load of learning lumbering in his head. My friends, let me talk about this. Alliteration means what? Repetition of a particular sound, repetition of a particular syllable in a sentence, poetic lines. It is called as alliteration. And in the first example over here, glittering through the gloomy glades, here sound G is repeated. In the second example, a load of learning lumbering in his head, sound L or syllable L is repeated. So this repetition of particular sound or the syllable, if it is there in the poetical lines, then there is alliteration. And now let's move on towards the next one. Repetition. My friends, repetition is the use of same word in a line repeatedly either for emphasis or for poetic effect. For example, see, alone, alone, all alone, alone on a wide, wide sea. Here, the word alone, the word all is repeated. When such words are repeated, same word is repeated time and again, more than 2-3 times, then it is called as repetition. Tiger, tiger burning bright in the forest of the night. Here, tiger. Tiger is the word repeated. So because of this repetition of the sound, rhythm it is produced and it becomes very interesting to announce and to pronounce, and that's why it makes the figure of speech, and that one is. Before I conclude today's PowerPoint presentation, I would like to request every one of you to like, share and comment my video. Do subscribe my channel and please press the bell icon for my upcoming videos on English grammar, on spoken English and also on personality development and much more. Till then, goodbye, take care. Thank you one and all.